To those familiar with my channel, it may come as no surprise that cargo hauling is one of my favourite activities in Star Citizen, and while it may not have reached its final glorious form, it can still provide hours of relaxing, profitable enjoyment. If you haven't gotten into cargo hauling yet, or even if you want a refresher on the mechanics and some favoured routes of mine, be sure to check out one of my cargo related videos. I'll put some links in the description below. Ask any cargo hauling enthusiast about the profession, and they'll have a ship they prefer and recommend, be it the cavernous C2 from Crusader Industries or the Cutlass Black for its mix of cargo space and offensive capability. Which brings me to my favourite ship to run cargo and the subject of today's video. Citizens, my name's Beard of Oz, and today I'll be talking about the MISC Hull A, the only non-Drake ship I've pledged. I'll go over its specs, where it outshines its competitors, and why as cargo hauling expands and so does the playable universe, you should consider investing one. If you learned anything useful in this video, consider hitting the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Now let's dive in. Brought to us by Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern, MISC for short, the Hull A is the first released in-game and smallest of the Hull series. These hauling-oriented ships are designed to carry large quantities of cargo on external spindles that are housed and unfurled from within the ship's interior, allowing the vessels to be smaller in stature and footprint when not hauling. Once extended and loaded up with commodities, the Hull series are intended to be the long-range transport vessels between systems once the in-game scope is extended beyond just Stanton. When it comes to its loadout, the Hull A appears to be nothing to write home about, coming stocked with one small power plant, 2 small coolers, 2 small shield generators, and a single small quantum drive. But don't let that distract you from the single important role this vessel plays, and that is hauling. Though classed as medium freight, the physical size of the Hull A when not transporting goods is rather small, but when the internalized cargo spindles are extended, this little ship is capable of transporting 64 SCU of commodity. Another overlooked feature of the Hull A is its fuel capacity. At time of making this video, the Hull A's quantum fuel was a whopping 10,000, and while it's quite possible that CIG may change this in the future, I believe that this shall still remain higher than other ships in its class, due to its intended role of intersystem travel for the transport of goods. This larger fuel capacity means that you aren't locked into the Atlas quantum drive for longer jump routes and can splash out and get something with a bit more up and go. When it comes to weaponry, the Hull A scrapes in with the bare minimum here, sporting a chin-mounted turret with 2 size 1 laser repeaters, no missiles to speak of, and the standard amount of noise and decoys to distract enemy missiles long enough to give the pilot a chance at escape. Internally, the Hull A sports an impressive and comfortable living space for the hauler on the go, with a bunk to rest during extra long jumps as well as log out in the black, a convenient fridge to stock with your favourite beverages and foods, and a hygiene area that might be the largest I've personally seen in a ship. It also has a weapon locker that can house 2 rifles, 3 pistols, or medical guns, and can be secured so that only partied crew can access it. The doors can be locked as well for pilot safety, so you can transport other citizens, and so long as they aren't in your party, they cannot access the cockpit and do you harm. So, why do I think the Hull A is so darn good? Well, besides the fact that it just looks so cool while hauling cargo, it's because it's a dedicated hauler in a small, convenient package. It can easily land in a small-sized hangar, takes up very little room on a landing pad, and carries a fairly hefty amount of cargo besides. And while it's easy to point out to larger haulers that dwarf the Hull A's carrying capacity, not every player wants to spend 5 minutes exiting and entering their ship, only to find out that another hauler has already snapped up the commodity station's allocation of valuable product. Its fuel capacity means that you very rarely have to concern yourself with refueling between trips should you be moving cargo between locations that do not have the option to refuel and restock. Check out my illegal commodities hauling guide here if you don't know what I'm talking about. And while it's not currently a factor, when we do finally have an expansion to the playable systems, That fuel is going to allow the crafty hauler to adopt less than conventional travel routes between points of economic interest, because you just know there are going to be some quantum jamming choke points favored by pirates. Speaking of pirates, don't be surprised if you start seeing Hull A's joining their ranks, as the external cargo grid cuts down on precious minutes when transferring captured or found commodities from wrecks to your own collection, and this applies to salvages and scavengers as well. With the introduction of physicalized cargo in 3.18, a citizen tired of the buy and sell can now start scouring the black and well-known points of interest for the remains of unfortunate citizen vessels, land, load up their lost goods, and sell them at no questions asked terminals. A convenient fridge for consumables, a bunk to rest and log out in, and the citizen tired of the bustle and madness of landing zones and cities can end a lengthy play session in peace. At the time of making this video, the Hull A was still only available via pledge of $99 US, though it was released straight to flyable with the 3.17 update in April of 2022, so it will hopefully be purchasable in-game soon. Another under-advertised benefit of the Hull A is its insanely short claim time. With a standard minute 48 seconds, and with the expedited claim coming in at 40 seconds, this medium freight vessel has amongst the fastest of non-starter claim times. As viewers of my channel will already be aware, my favourite one-stop shop for ship components is Cousin Crows on Orison, and so that's exactly where I'll go to outfit this vessel, shelling out the big bucks for military components including the super fast and reliable VK00 Size 1 Quantum Drive, taking full advantage of that seemingly bottomless fuel tank, and while I'm here, some consumables to stock in the fridge. If you don't have the scratch to kit the vessel out immediately, I'd say the Quantum Drive is going to be the first ticket on the list here. Running a few simple cargo runs will very quickly bulk out your space wallet. While you're buying and selling cargo, keeping an eye out for armors and weapons in chests at numerous landing spots to sell at vendors in orbital stations will help build the coffers quickly. And there you have it, my favorite hauler, the MISC Hull A. Have you had a chance to run it yet? What did you think? Feel free to let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video or learnt anything new, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Be sure to check out one of my other cargo hauling guides here, and as always, stay safe in the verse, and I'll catch you all next time.